What you doing? I'm your Otakutainment, the AC Stories with this Otakutainment reviews for this week's Weekly Shonen Jump, issue 15 of 2025. Woo! Okay, finally actually streaming right when I actually say I want to, but, ooh, okay, if you are watching this live, meaning right now, feel free to jump in and talk about whatever series you want to. I have a actual order that I planned this time, but it doesn't matter. If you're watching in the future, feel free to watch my streams live and jump in a conversation then. Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, that's it. That's what I'm doing. But, yeah, I'm just going to jump right into my first one. Normally what I used to do was the least popular on Manga Plus, and just work my way up from there. But I kind of want to just talk about it in the order that I want to do, but start with the worst. And so this is now the worst ones for the week. Bottom to top, there's 19 series. Of course, don't include the one-shot GG No Lucifer because it's not English officially, so I can't read it. But what I am starting with, and if you watch these reviews before in the past, it's probably not a surprise. Noah's Exorcist, Chapter 89, Our Hollow Weapon. Look, I keep going back and forth. I said Hema 10 was my least favorite now. No Exorcist, I just can't get into it. It just keeps seeming ridiculous. I just couldn't care for it. And it's my worst one of the week, and I feel like maybe that's being a little harsh. But also, Hema 10's not my worst one. It's not even the second from last. So, I don't know, there's just not much to it. And this one especially is just dumb. Because all it is Gokuro randomly gets powered up again and everyone escapes. That's it. Yeah, like it does show like the coolness of the power up, but the power up makes no sense. The fact that there was all of a sudden a plan of escape made no sense. It's just the whole thing is just everything seems like a whim. Like there's no plan anymore. It's just like, oh, well, I need to do this now. I need to do that. Does it make sense? Does it matter? No. So yeah, that's why it's at the bottom this week, because it's not being done well. It looks fine. That's the only thing it really has going for is I think stuff looks good. It looks cool and dark. But besides that, it's just the story's all over the place. Okay. So let's move on to this. That one's by far just the bad one. The rest from here on are just nothing special to me for the next few ones, including Star of Beethoven number 5, Overload. This one also didn't have much going on with it. So far the series hasn't really had much going on with it. But what it is Claude Tsukami, the person we saw at the very end, who seems like the rival type. Well, that's exactly what it kind of is. Because Claude's kind of crazy and seems obsessed with just shitting on Yaso. But really, what I bet it's going to be is Claude was just upset that the rival quit piano. And like Claude beat Yaso in the piano competition that caused Yaso to eventually end up quitting. And then it feels really retcon, but because it was like Yaso dominated the piano, blah blah blah. But then it's like Claude went even further and all that. It's like, okay, I guess. But now there's also like when Yaso does the audition, there's like student representatives are allowed to also be part of the judging process, which makes no sense at all. But I mean, it's manga, so it's whatever. But also now Yaso has to figure out how to get Claude to accept Yaso into it, be so good, or whatever, because it all just seems spiteful from Claude's point of view, or reasoning. So Beethoven's going to teach Yasuo how to play Appassionata. I don't know how significant that teaching will be. It's like, yeah, Beethoven wrote the piece. Is this really Beethoven? Yasuo's giving it a go either way, so I don't know. We'll see how it actually turns out. Of course, it'll turn out fine. That's the thing. We know it'll be good. Now, is Claude actually going and have some integrity or not? I guess is the main thing. For maybe next chapter, I guess it'll just cut right to the audition. Because what else? Okay, so moving on to another one I just can't care about, but I guess it was okay. No, I don't know if this was okay or not. Honestly, I should have put this one below Star Beethoven, maybe. Now that I'm thinking about it more, I don't know. But yeah, it is Sid Craft Love is a Mystery, Case 15. They've really won small chapter titles this week. Ghosts sometimes seductively tempt the great detective. Again, I don't know where this is going. If this series is supposed to have a point, it kind of almost feels like a pervy gag manga at this point. No actual story. Don't know what's up with Zero Craft. They introduced a random character a couple chapters ago, but brought the person back. So it's Sid, Elio, and so forth. And then for some reason, apparently Lulu was just passing by, just happened to be there. And they're exploring a not haunted, house that was set up by Mad Hell Misery. So yeah, I honestly surprised, did not expect this person back, but yeah, set up a fake haunted house. Of course, it's not fake, and if you remember a couple chapters ago, Mad Hell Misery, not actually a bad person, for some reason wants to be. So there's traps, but they're all cushioned. They do split them up, kind of. It, of course, sets them up into pervy situations. And then they keep seeing a long-haired ghost who is actually just Elio with the hair down because a bird stole Elio's hat. And then that was it. Yeah, I should have put that below Star Beethoven. It just was dumb, not good. I don't know. Like, I like gag mangas. If you notice, well, until this next chapter, I haven't been putting them last. Like, they are on Manga Plus, which I still feel like not really justified. But the next one is the gag manga, Super Psychic Policeman Chojo, number 53, dating the senior police officer. I thought this chapter was going to go back to Inukai in the jungle and do some stuff with that, and then the chapter ends up with Inukai coming back. No, it just picks up with Inukai coming back. And like, there's nothing wrong with this chapter. It's just didn't hit for me. So, and now when I think about it, this one should have been above. I don't know. The next one, which shouldn't be a surprise when I tell you the next one, but all that happens in this is Inukai's back, overhears people accusing Ippongi of dating K9. Of course, that's not true, it's just gossip. But Inukai is jealous, especially after supposedly losing Chojo to Ippongi. Starts just acting weird. Seems like is accused of sexual harassment against K9. I guess it's kind of justified, but I think all it was is going to like a sauna together. But hey, it just depends, I guess, on the person. I think it was how it was said and how weird Inukai was being. I don't know. But there's just weirdness going on until people start talking about how K9 was doing a lot better when the Inukai was gone. But then K9 actually stands up for Inukai and everything turns out okay. So, oh, hello. Hello. How are you? I hope you're a real person. Because you should have spots, but you're not trying to promote anything yet. So, is that Black Boy 7? Okay. We'll see where this goes. But, okay. Black Boy 7. You've been reading Weekly Shonen Jump. You have anything you want to talk about? I've gotten through Noah's Exorcist Star of Beethoven, Sid Craft Loves Mystery, and just finished talking about Super Psychic Policeman Chojo. But I think I'm done with that series. Was there anything else to add? No, it was just pretty much Inukai being weird. And can I kind of stand up for Inukai and then immediately also pointing out Inukai's just weird over and over again. That was pretty much it. I think it was just too one note for me to care too much more about it. So, moving on to... yeah, okay. Moving on to my iffy, is it my least favorite or not series? Hima 10. Beachfront Leading Ladies. Like, this one had at least a little bit more going on. Aside from the obvious perviness that's going to come from a beach chapter, there's some depth with at least one of the characters. But all it is Iomori, Yoshino, Kanai, Kana, plus Mayu and Yokomizu. I think the reason I had this up at all higher in my list than it should have been is because of Mayu, and especially Yokomizu. Because I just like when not as relevant characters are still included, because we hardly have seen Yokomizu at all. But yeah, so all of them go to the beach / the beach house the talent agency CEO let Yoshino use. But before they leave, Yoshino ends up getting upset, thinking Iomori only thinks Yoshino only thinks about work. So it's just confusion, which kind of, and it's mainly because Yoshino's like, oh, well, if you start dating Kanai, you won't be able to work for me. Like, that matters? I don't know. Like, you still need a job. Something like that. And it's just jealousy at this point. But, of course, this being the beach chapter is also an excuse to show off characters in swimsuits, which somehow, and, like, good job, because it's not too perverted about it. There is one joke of Mayu saying something to Kana about giving Kanai some of the extra boobs, sharing some boob, but that was actually kind of funny. And then also Yokomizu actually is not like an idiot when it comes to like understanding and knowing how girls think and feel and stuff like that. So that's nice. Too bad Iomori's the main character, so it has the mandatory completely dim-witted protagonist brain. And then we see, to end it off, Yoshino actually seems to be feeling more jealous than whatever was going on. That's why upset with Iomori, but then gets hit by some water, and as was foreshadowed, I guess you could say earlier, loses contacts in the ocean. So Iomori comes to the rescue and leads Yoshino away holding hands. Oh, someone probably saw that. We'll have to see that in the next chapter, when I assume they meet back up at the beach house and more drama goes on. I don't know. So not the worst of the chapters for this series, but it's still just whatever. Now let's move on to Blue Box, when the series are starting to get better, in my opinion. I'm still not that crazy about Blue Box in general, but yeah, not much is going on, but there also wasn't really anything wrong with it. So this is number 187, Stay Close to Her. It's the note we saw last time was kind of a prank or a lie. It was just not like, it was Chinatsu and someone else actually went off to go do something else, and Nagisa just put it up to be funny. Just wanted to talk and thank Taiki, and then also talk about Yumenko's a lot. That was most of what the talking was. Yeah, until they come back, and then there's just more teasing. And then the rest of the chapter is life just continues on until the tournament gets here. Still not here yet, but it's just things keep going. So not really much happened in it, but it was still like somewhat nice. Nothing bad really happened, so it's okay. Let's just go ahead and move on to Astro Royale. Chapter 44, The Scheme. So this one also pretty simple, with also doesn't really say too much yet, just like I kind of said last week, it's a setup chapter more than anything. So Kogane and Nasutoro Godai, the child-parent duo, that are trying to make Tarasu forfeit the fight, the next fight between Kogane and Tarasu. But then, because they deal in weapons, and because of asteroids now, people don't really need weapons. So for some reason, having Tarasu forfeit will help that. Logic's not completely there, but who cares? I was looking forward to another Tarasu fight. Tarasu's an interesting enough character, but I guess stuff has to move along. Tournament arcs can't just be a tournament, a straight up tournament, even though I wish they would be more often. Tournament arcs are usually my favorite, but it just can't be that simple. But Shikaba comes and beats them all up. All of them. Everybody. It really seems everyone but Tarasu is completely knocked out. Tarasu still has a little bit of crawling energy left. A little bit. And then it cuts to Tendo offers a split of 10 billion yen to everyone that bets on the Hibaru and Shikaba fight. That's it. That's the chapter. So, there's some kind of scheme going on. I think I meant to talk more about chapter titles, but it'll be okay. So yeah, there's some kind of scheme going on. It was kind of a cool setup. Just wondering where things are going to go, but nothing yet. So let's move on to The Elusive Samurai, chapter 194, Kono Morofuru, 1351. This one's mainly just fighting. It's just action. We do see Tokiyuki. It's growing stronger. Does it's compared to like a Western sword technique of using like a cape or something to like float around and be distracting and whatever. It's whatever. And Tokiyuki's also using like the kimono sleeve to do that similarly. And it kind of works, but it's mainly also that Tokiyuki's getting so much stronger. Thanks to needing to satisfy three wives, who Tokiyuki keeps referring to as animals instead of just saying they're people and admitting that. Somehow just comparing them to animals, or straight up just saying it was animals. It's better. It honestly seems pretty bad if you were to say it to actual people who are paying attention to what you're saying. Ooh. Anyways, Fubuki also has a new technique. It looks cool, but it really doesn't seem like a good idea. It was like jumping, and then while jumping and propelling yourself forward, using your swords to also go underneath you to help you get even more momentum. But then when your swords are underneath you, you either have to completely flip, which cool, but also it's not good to put your swords into the ground. But then if you're not completely flipping, then you have to pull them back out, which would hurt momentum, and then try. Doesn't seem like that great a technique, but it looks cool, I guess. Then the fight is taken outside. That's it. That was the chapter. Most of it was weird, comparing females to animals, and then just action. So yeah, cool enough, and then just weird. So let's move on to Kill Blue. Not the most appropriate title page, I would think. Page 92, no misunderstanding. And here we see Norin taking a bath. Yes, the very young, small child. Probably a small child, unless the twist is actually an adult. Then it's okay. Not right now, but it will be okay once the adult version is like, I don't know. So while Norin's taking a bath, also wondering about Ogami's other secrets. What could it be? Norin knows Ogami's a hitman, so what could be worse than that? About being a grown-ass adult. Because that keeps getting left out. And make things a lot clearer and less creepy if that was just, said. I mean, Oka was there, almost tried to say it. Whatever. So, there's a few things that's just kind of brought up. It's kind of a quick chapter. Ogami says, just officially done being a hitman. Goes, tells the rest of the home ec club about wanting or needing to become the student president, who everyone reacts is and says it's pretty much going to be impossible. I don't think it's revealed, because Nora and Ogami mentioned should they reveal about the marriage stuff. I don't think it is. I think they're just kind of leaving it out for whatever reason. And then after that, and after some ramen, Norin goes to the shrine and admits about being in love with Ogami. Of course, somebody hears it. But here's a weird thing. Ogami, after the ramen, flicks Norin a 10 yen piece. I was going to say 10 cent, but I guess that makes sense. Is it just a 10 yen? 10? I don't know. Flips that. Norin puts it in like a little wallet. I'm wondering what that's going to be. Maybe something to spy or track. For the fact it was just out of nowhere. It seems suspicious. And then it shows the wallet of Norin putting it in and pulling out 100 yen. I don't know. Just maybe a little thing to pay attention to, whether it matters or not. Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's moving the story along, so it's okay with me. We kind of get to see some stuff happen. Some of it's still weird, but whatever. Now let's move on. This is when stuff actually starts getting good for me. Like I was like, oh yeah, and surprise, surprise, making it this far up is Me and Roboco, chapter 224, The Prince and the Gang. This one is pretty simple. It's pretty predictable. Like, you know what it's going to be, but it's still enjoyable just because of the little gags that pop up every now and then. So, what it mainly is Mosuo and friends have to spend a day with Prince Fungiorno. Wait, is it Fungiorno? Or is Fungiorno? I think it's supposed to be Fungiorno. Portobello, but everyone ends up just calling the prince Fungi. And then throughout the whole thing, Motsuo translates everything wrong to try to be try to make the prince sound less princely, less royally, or because the prince isn't really even being stuck up. It's just like normal. So, and it's nice, having a good time, but I feel like Motsuo is kind of overreacting, trying to be a little too overprotective, but it's also understandable because every time Roboco touches or does anything to Motsuo, ends up getting shot at. Roboco thinks they're just bugs, weird bullety bugs. How other people touch and do stuff to Motsuo and they don't get shot, so I don't know what's up with that. It's just a weird thing. Especially Gorilla, I'm pretty sure touches and does weird stuff. But I don't know. And it's mainly just little gags like that, like eating a super sour thing, looking in the bar, a nickname, the fun guy nickname, what do they call him? A Suchiko, the weird snake thingy, like mystical snake thing, the thing that Dunsparce is based off of, I think. Favorite Pokemon. And there's just stuff like that. And then I think what really got me is, okay, so, you know, fun guys, all dirty and stuff, goes back to their parents. The king or whatever, the dad is like, why are you so dirty? And Fun's like, I had a great time. They actually treated me like equals, blah, blah, blah. It was so nice. And then, like, the snake thing they saw was actually a baby alligator, and Fungi actually takes it and keeps it, and like when it was rotting back, it's like, oh yeah, the alligator is doing great. And it's like, oh, that's so random and nice. That part actually was my favorite part. And then also the whole thing was also just to get Mosu's house back as a gift for having a good time. It was like, oh yeah, so this nice little house, here you go. It's like, oh, okay, so that's what that was for. But yeah, it was just a nice little chapter, just a bunch of little gags that built up enough to land with me once the alligator became a thing. Because it's just so silly, simple, and dumb, and it was great. Now moving on to Witch Watch. 193 Cat and Wolf's Rondo Part 2. Ooh, this one is nice. Really just showing character dynamics, getting in touch with characters. Of course, it starts with pretty much a foreshadowing right away. When I started the chapter, I was like, what's the point of this? Why are they just randomly showing a mirror? Well, it doesn't show on the title page. Nico just talking into a mirror that can reveal feelings, and then of course that comes into play later, and it's like, oh, okay, of course. So Wolf proposed having children with Nemu, who kind of agrees, but is also like still needing to decide on the feelings between Keigo and Wolf. Wolf doesn't care to share, but Nemu says it'll be unfaithful, so I guess Thanks have to pick one of them. I mean, it is kind of like there's just one person, but they have different personalities. I don't know. And when Keigo talks to Wolf through this magic mirror, there's some more understanding between the two of them. Like, how there's a lot of things Wolf just says. Stuff like, feelings are like a temperature that have a vague idea of what happened with Keigo, but none of the specifics. Stuff like that. But it's pretty much a challenge is issued that if Keigo doesn't get Nemu first, then Wolf's going to swoop in and take Nemu. So there's that. And then it ends with Keigo going on a date with Nemu, and then not really much happening. That was it. It ends with that, and it's like, oh, okay. It's still got a long way to go with that, I guess. But yeah, so more just a feelings kind of chapter and understanding of characters. Character growth, I guess you could say. So yeah, it was nice. I enjoyed it enough. But let's keep moving on to Alternate Exorcist Kiyoshi. See you later. And also, I keep realizing I keep calling Hirai instead of I did it again. I keep calling Kiyoshi Hirai instead of Kiyoshi, the title of the series, but I keep saying Hirai. I don't know if it matters. But so another thing going on names is I kept in the past couple chapters being like, yeah, this demon lord, whatever their name is. I still don't remember if it ever said it, and I don't think it did, but maybe it did, because this is kind of a cool way to introduce the actual name. The fifth demon lord, Yoraku Baku. It might have been said before and I just don't remember. But yeah, Jack Joe and Neha beat this demon lord, and they want to spare Yoraku, returning to the demon world, and which eventually agrees, just because there's Jack Joe's like, oh, you owe me this for winning, stuff like that, even though Yoraku's like, no, I was defeated, don't show mercy, stuff like that, but does end up agreeing, gives Jack Joe like the trident, and just when and then Yoraku kind of jinxing it, it's like, I'll probably never see you again anyways, and then like faces slashed by someone else. We don't see who that someone else is, but probably someone really strong. Don't know what's going to happen afterwards though. Anyways, while that's happening, Harai's just been running around helping save people, getting rid of demons and whatever. And then there's one demon in particular it shows named Hydraco, who has like tied up a couple people in swing sets, purposely wanting to kill people to bring Harai. And it works, but then it stops there. So we don't know where that's going to go. I guess they're going to fight. Harai's probably... Maybe we'll have some kind of struggle. Maybe we'll just beat it quickly and move on. Don't really know what kind of fight it's going to occur next. And I don't know if we're going to see whoever that was that killed Yoraku either. Maybe. Nah, maybe not. I think we saw like a surge of energy or something come up. So maybe that was part of it, but don't really know for sure. But let's move on to what's next. Shinobi Undercover, Chapter 24, Red Kawa Sami. So in this one, mostly fighting, no, a good bit of talking too. So most of it really is just Yorika getting beat up by Kawasami, who points out like Yorika's never really fought anyone actually stronger, so this is the first. But Yorika still refuses the offer to join, but Kawasami does start sowing some doubt about the public safety, says to guarantee, safety and keep Aoi alive, but Aoi wouldn't be able to live a normal life, which Yorika doesn't like. Also says it was probably the public safety that killed Aoi's parents. So something suspicious is going on. Don't know exactly what it is, but it's also like can't just based off what we've seen of Kosami's group, not doing things in the best way possible. Even though cutting back to Moorhen seems like a decent boss, so maybe it's not all bad. But yeah, then we end the chapter with Hibari literally bringing the ceiling down with Moorhen. Pretty cool. I guess saves Yorika. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. I assume more action. Maybe the fight will start wrapping up. I don't know. But next up we have Sakamoto Days, a big chapter. Days 204, Revolution in Succession. So this one started off pretty simple. The main gang easily makes it outside, but is ambushed by Oki's gang. And like, oh, okay, cool. Just gonna be some fighting, all this stuff, everything will turn out okay. But then it has to cut to Kei killing Asaki. Yeah, pretty brutally, I guess. And then, after Oki's pretty much saying the Order is gonna team up with X, there's a announcement, like a televised thing, of Kei holding up Asaki's head. And there's gonna be a launch of a reborn JA. Or Ja. So, pretty intense ending for that. It seemed like it was going to be a straightforward kind of like whatever, but that ending alone it works out pretty nice. Well, not nice. It was pretty brutal way to do that. Anyways, let's keep going. Kagurabachi, chapter 71. Also a surprise. Oh, chapter 71 contest. Oh, no, that makes sense. Okay. It's a surprise that the chapter name is on the title page. Easier for me. So, yeah. 9 years ago, I don't know the age, but we learn more about Iori. The whole thing's a flashback chapter, which I'm not always crazy about, but this one is actually nice. It's fine. We actually get to see some depth into it. But it's a flashback about Iori, Samura, and Inori, who is Iori's mom. So creative with the names. I'm sure that won't be confusing at all. But also, just a little side note, we also learn, and I don't know if it ever said before, but if it hasn't been said before, it's probably going to pop up in the future. Iori also has an aunt, Inori's sister, who's also in the Kamunabi. I don't know if it's ever been said before or pointed out. Maybe it has, but if not, it's definitely going to play a part in the future, because why throw that in there? But yeah, pretty much most of the chapter is Samura is reluctant to take care of Iori, mainly focuses too much on the past of being a killer and all that stuff. And Iori keeps challenging Samura to these contests, keeps trying to like level the playing field by also trying to act blind or closing eyes and not seeing while doing these things. And in a way, even though it seems like Iori is upset or mad or doesn't care about Samura, doing this also kind of really seems like Iori does actually idolize Samura still. But then, after a year of this, Inori dies. Samura wants to try to have a closer life with Iori, but then the person from the Hishaku, is that the name of them? Whatever. I forget the person's name who showed up. But yeah, shows up, just wants to talk, and that's where the chapter ends. So we'll have to, I guess, pick back up on that part of the flashback. But it doesn't make that much sense if we see that conversation, because it was supposed to be Iori's flashback, because right now in the present day, Samura isn't around, so it'd be weird if the flashback showed that too. I think it'd be fine to stop there. Or maybe Iori witnesses in it, because we still have to see why and when Iori loses memories and all that stuff. Huh. I don't know. But yeah, that was it. Decent chapter, decent flashback, even though I'm usually not a fan of them. I don't know, it was just finally nice to see something. So, definitely going to be my favorite series in Weekly Shonen Jump currently, but I surprisingly do not have it at the top for chapters because I'm trying to be fair and less biased. But Ichi the Witch, 25th Hunt, the Joyous Country. Huh. Is it that joyous? I don't know. Wow, this is a big chapter. Not what I expected at all. The colors they use in this series are just so pretty. It's a great cover page. But not only that, we get a cute and humorous full color recap from Komugi, and still the rest of the full pages. I think it's like 3 extra pages, and still get the rest. Oh, it's great. Anyways, and most of this is informational chapter. There is some humor in it, but it's just the other ones are the last 3 series after this were just that good that I don't have it at the top, even though now I kind of wish I did because of the humorous bits is what gets me. This one doesn't have as much. It's a little predictable because going actually talking about the story, Goku Raku of course doesn't fall for Uraru's trick, even pretty much exactly guesses what Uraru's plan was, and just splats Uraru, tries to do it again, but then Ichi stops and it's like, oh, tell me about the bastard Majik you're so mad about. And then it cuts to Discard and Komugi finally go to Bakugami, whatever the name is. I think I mistyped the name of this place. Bakugami. Yeah, okay, I did it right. Bakugami, which ends up actually being the village, and the name of what they call the slumbering Majik, because there's always the powers and the actual name and blah blah blah, all that stuff, a little whatever. So the slumbering Majik, who actually is the world-hating Majik, and is also the one that Gakuraku hates, says inside, or the outside looks cute, but on the inside is actually just full of feces or something like that. Just a bunch of shit. But at least in this village, Bakugami is worshipped as a deity. For somehow saved the village and all of them. We don't know exactly how or why yet, but we do see is that it seems like someone is pulling the strings in the background or inside Bakugami. We only get to see that little bit, so it kind of left like, oh, something's going to go down. Also, I forgot, Ichi has another Majik, the one that Gakuraku was torturing. I just want to throw that there before I forget again, because I don't know when we're actually going to see it. But yeah, they're going to have to pretty much get the whole village turned against them if they want to actually beat this world hater Majik. Or human hater. I don't know if it's world hater or human hater. Oh, wait. No, maybe. Wait. No, probably not. A thought occurred to me. It's like, what if this is just the not humanified version of the other world hater? Because for some reason I keep thinking the person at the end who seems to be pulling the strings does say world hater. Huh. Is that supposed to be it? I don't know. Or is someone trying to make this Majik even stronger than the other world hater? I don't know. Interesting. Now that I'm thinking about it, it's interesting. Ichi the Witch is so good. But the last 3 are good too, so let's talk more about those. Embers. Not usually a sucker fan, but this one's actually pretty good. I like the intensity of it. Chapter 6, Warm More, Go. Oh, there is one flaw. Maybe I should put this under Ichi the Witch. I'll say now. Actually, put Embers under Ichi the Witch, because there's a flaw that makes no sense to me and it bugs me enough to drop it. Also, Ichi the Witch is good enough that maybe it should still be at the top. No, okay. I'll still say Ichi the Witch is third, because the last 2 are really good. So, Takami, tries to score, but there's memories of the pressure to succeed, just weighing Takami down, and still pushing forward. Like, you see Takami lost by 1 point, which technically everyone on that team lost by 1 point. It's not all up to one person, and that was probably the problem. And then, like, at least one of Takami's parents was also pressuring. It's like, you have to be the best soccer player specifically. And it's like, so there's all of that. And it makes it seem a lot more intense than it should be, since this is just like a trial thing. But I guess it does matter, because it determines what team you'll be on, and the team matters. So, I don't know. Anyways, tries to score, but is still blocked by Komigai. And here's the thing. While this is all going on, they keep being like, oh, now that Inanaki's on the other side of the field, is out of the picture, it could change the whole thing. Don't forget, at the beginning of this, Inanaki purposely stayed back, let everyone else handle it, because it didn't believe in Takami in the first place. So it didn't matter. It wasn't Inanaki being the obstacle this whole time. Anyways, I don't know, it didn't make any sense. But Inanaki is able to come back after that missed shot, but Haitani's also able to come back, helps get the ball back, and sets up again for Takami to actually score this time. It was nice. Like, it sounds simple, but I like how it was done. It was intense, maybe a little too intense for what's actually on the line. But hey, I mean, that's how you get the interest going. And honestly, that's most sports, manga, anime anyways. Yeah, now let's move on to Akane-banashi, story 149, release. This was a good one. I like, there's just a lot going in here, and kind of almost felt a little rushed, but I don't know, it wasn't rushed, but you could make an argument for it. So I think we meet, I don't remember this person for, so I'm going to say we meet Shomei Tsubakiya, who is a Okaban and the vice chairman of Rakugo Foundation. Also, I think it was the only, what was it? Like, the only position or title or whatever Shomei has that can be inherited through blood or familiar hierarchy. I don't know, something like that. It can be inherited differently than other Margoku titles or positions. I don't know. But, yeah. There's a lot going on with Shomei, and we don't get to see enough of it, but Shomei does recognize Akane's skill. Apparently, Akane was going on before Shomei. That may have been said, I just didn't pay attention. Also, Shomei knows Toru, Akane's dad. I think, right? Don't know what's that, so who was Toru that apparently everyone acknowledged like Toru, but for some reason Isho still expelled? I don't know. Unless I'm getting names mixed up and I'm completely fucking stupid. Right? I don't know. Maybe I should have looked up. I'm terrible with names, but that was my assumption. Now I'm doubting myself. Let's move on. We don't get to see the performance though. All this like, oh, you said the stuff you introduced, and now we don't get to see a cool performance. I know we just spent like multiple chapters on Akane's yawning story, but it would have been cool to see. I guess we have to wait to see that for later. Because for now, Akane leaves. What's the person's name? Isen, I think. Master Isen, I think. Tensen? I don't know. Runs into that other one. And learns that there's something over Master Shiguma, but Akane hasn't got in touch yet. Is waiting for I gotta learn names. And then apparently the other Arakawa apprentices or students, members, family, whatever, have also been doing some interesting things. We don't know what that is yet, but honestly, most interesting is Akane goes and meets up with Isho, who is finally open to talking about Shiguma's art. So there must have been something going on these past 3 years that Akane comes back and they're just chill. Like, Isho asked, what you learn? And Akane was like, it was more of me just realizing I gotta really hone in on the stuff I already know. Stuff like that. And Isho's like, but okay. And yeah, they're going to talk about Shiguma's art. I don't know. it was my understanding Isho never really learned it, but must know something. But what happened in those 3 years that they got so chill? I don't know. But it was just a cool way to do that, and really looking forward to what's going to happen next. Whew. But now we are on the last series of the issue, or the last one I'm talking about, and the top one. And I know you might be like, oh yeah, it's One Piece chapter 142. What I'm afraid of. And you're like, okay, you're just like, it's the hype, it's One Piece, like you're just putting it up there because of course, why not? But here's the thing, this was technically another set chapter, but Elbaf is just in chaos now, and that was the coolest part. There's just a lot of cool stuff happening, and you can feel the chaoticness starting to build up finally. So there's just a giant snake going after the kids. Some of the kids are like sleepwalking. There's something about you can't touch the kids. You don't know exactly what. The gym teacher is beat up. We cut back to Loki, who is partly free, still has one leg in a cuff, a sea prison cuff, whatever. Has the hammer. It looks like strikes the side of a tree or something, which causes fire. Assuming that's Loki. It might not have been, because we didn't literally see Loki causing the fire, but Loki is like, you know what Elbaf's weakness is, right? And the other one, Giants, being like, man, Loki, stop. But then we cut to just monsters everywhere, and apparently this was because one of the assignments in class was for the kids to talk about what they're most afraid of, and for some reason, that reason being the bad guys, manifested all these monsters to come, I guess, start attacking, which also means one of these monsters is a kid's mom, because that's what somebody wrote. I'm pretty sure one of the kids said Niku, and then I forget the names. One of the bad guys also said Niku. So Luffy's gonna be showing up and scaring a whole lot of people. But yeah, it was just a chaotic chapter, and I loved it. It was great. It was just so cool seeing everything, especially when you see all these monsters. It's like, oh, it's the kids. But apparently, whatever this is lasts until the kids get to the boat. I'm sure it could be broken somehow. I don't know what touching the kids does. Does it also put you to sleep? Does it also make your fears come true? I don't know. They must have realized it somehow, but whoo, stuff's getting chaotic. I am so excited for the next chapter. It's going to be so good. But that is going to be it for this week's issue of Weekly Shonen Jump. It was a good issue. I mean, really, there's only a couple series I either didn't care for or just really didn't like. One I really didn't like. So it was pretty good. I think I said last week was the setup chapter, and I feel like this week delivered. It's good. I'm glad it went how it did. But that's it. One person joined and said hello. But if you also want to join, talk more live in chat during these streams, be sure to do that if you want to. We can talk about whatever you want. Tuesdays 8 p.m. Eastern. But if you're listening in the future, go ahead, leave comments wherever. Find me on social media. Email me theacstories@gmail.com. Yeah, all that stuff I normally say. Have a Discord, you can join that too. I'll leave links to everything, easy to find. So yeah, let's talk more about manga, whether it's Weekly Shonen Jump or not, anime, all that stuff, that all the otaku stuff we all love and enjoy. It's because that's the best part about it, and that's why I do these as streams, to give people that chance. But thank you to anyone who is watching and listening. I mean, hey, thank Black Boy 7 for joining and saying hello anyways, if you're a real person or not. But yeah, I also want to thank my Ko-fi members, Vix Lab and Julio Vasquez. You can also support my Ko-fi or Patreon. There'll be different things coming to it. Same things on both platforms, but I have more stuff coming. You don't have to. Appreciate either way. But, just a little extra stuff to do and find there. Like the notes I keep referring to. Those are there. But yeah, that's going to be it for this week's Otakutainment reviews. I have been your Otakutainer, the AC Stories. Until next time, thank you so much, and bye.